5 of them. But what's frustrating maybe they're all for this it's just hard making 3 decisions in a vacuum. It's like usually 6 figures. What's it going to be next? So it's just super frustrating stuff.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Could I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Laird.
Present.
Commissioner Milne.
Here.
Commissioner Nicolason.
Here.
Commissioner North.
Here.
Chairman Friel.
Here. Could you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
On the consent agenda, we'd like to remove item number C completely. That'll be taken up at a later date. And then remove items E and M to an item on their own. With those amendments or those changes made, can I get a motion on the approval of the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make the motion to approve the agenda as stated by you.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Milne, second by Commissioner Nicolason. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now on the other 2 items, item E and item M, those, could I get a motion on those as amended during the work session this afternoon?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Nicolason and second by Commissioner Milne. Any discussion on items E or M? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And I do need to amend the agenda tonight. Apparently, we have some information from Mr. Hagler in reference to a dozer. Could you come forward and talk to us about that?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. In referring back to my email that I sent last week about the dozer we have on rent, forgive my voice, I'm a little hoarse. I would like to recommend that we convert that to a purchase with the money we've got invested. If I turn it back, it has to go back on the 7th, and I've actually hauled it into town to take it back if I need to, but I think as far as an investment, the money we've got in it now far outweighs what I can do in the future. This machine obviously isn't made anymore, but it's newer than anything I have. My machines are 34 years old and 45 years old, the 2 dozers I have, and they don't compare this. This machine I used all winter long since January, and it runs circles around anything I have, and it's in high demand, and actually, if I turn it back, it's sold. A new one is almost $600,000. So there again, if I turn around and rent a new one, the rent's going to be more significant than what we're paying right now is $14,000 some odd dollars. So I'd like you to consider the purchase of that machine. If I need to forego some other purchase that I'm trying to make on other equipment, I'd be willing to consider that too, if it helps. But I just think at this juncture, if I were to continue to rent it, I think, and we talked about that in a work session, then it goes to 80-20. We start losing money on the investment. And then if I don't purchase it, it's all for nothing. So I don't want to continue to rent it. If we don't make a purchase, I will turn it back. So that's my pitch.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Milne?
The next payment's due on the 7th, correct?
Actually, it's in the mail. I called and checked with them, they just hadn't got it yet. So that's what they're talking about in this, that bottom line is still the bottom line.
Okay, until the 7th for the 100%
And
versus
then the 7th,
80/20.
I would have to, I would be paying again. So,
Okay, so after the 7th, it goes to a 80/20?
80/20.
Commissioner North?
No, I'd make a motion that we go ahead and purchase this, and so we don't lose the investment that we've already got, and it's a good piece of equipment. They're in high demand right now, and everything is going through the roof right now, so it's not something that we can replace for what we owe on it.
Well, I would like to add, I looked at trading these other machines in, and the newest one, they'd give me 40,000 for. The older one, they'd give me 20. That's ridiculous. I mean, I could probably sell them more than that. But they're getting difficult to get parts for at that age.
Commissioner Nicholas?
Mr. Chairman, Mike, what's the purchase price?
It's $303,732.37.
Okay, and how much have we paid in rent roughly?
We have paid $87,318, and $1,000 of that is a part I had to put on it.
And right now, we get credit for all $87,000, resulting in that net purchase price of
Yes.
$303.
Yes.
And then after the 7th, it's my understanding that the $87,000 would only be, we'd only get credit for 80% of the $87,000.
80/20.
You know, we do a lot of business with Wyoming Machinery, who I believe is the lessor company. And, you know, we could have discussed this at our work session, and I guess all of us. I know you were at the work session for part of it, and we just, I think, spaced it out, I guess. Because I think last week, you know, there was some discussion about talking about this at the meeting. So, you know, I hate to spend $300,000 kind of spur of the moment. I wonder, is there any chance Wyoming Machinery will give us credit for another month so we can continue to have a discussion on this?
I can ask them.
Well, again, we do a lot of business with them, and it seems like, you know, I don't want to tell you that, you know, go find the money from some of the other equipment allocation purchases that we've done if we don't have to. But I also don't know if we should just dip into whatever fund. You know, I can't say right here tonight what the best place to grab that money from is. So to me, another month would be really useful. Thanks.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Mill?
are we into discussion then?
We're in discussion now. You got a motion made by Commissioner North, second by Commissioner Laird. Now discussion.
Okay. Tracy, do we will we be able to maybe find that, potentially find the funds in the reimbursement account line of the general fund?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Milne, I feel confident that we would have that money in that account.
Call for the question.
Well, I'll make a comment, then I'll call for the question. I'm in agreement. I would rather ask for a month so that we could figure this out instead of making a spur-of-the-moment decision. So now call for the question. All in favor of the motion made to purchase?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay, myself. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to public comment.
I think you probably are going to end up paying the $600,000 because you're waiting too long. I deal in this kind of thing all the time. When they say August 7th, they mean it. And I also deal with Wyoming Machinery quite a bit. and getting parts for his old stuff. I totally get that as well. I run into it with my trucks all the time. Heather, did you get a chance to check on when the resolution was rewrited, where he posted for the public notice?
I haven't, Judy, I apologize.
Okay. No, it was a last minute thought for me tonight too. Also, okay, I came up, because we need to talk about a few items. 1 cent fund proposal, 15-23 that the city council passed with 3 speaking against, and Pat Sweeney was the lone speaker in favor. And it basically takes the right of the citizens to decide if Casper needs a 4-year, renew it every 4 years or not. They keep saying it's a great idea. I don't think it is, and according to, Rose had posted on Facebook, and I thought I'd just give this to you guys. You guys have, I should have made more. I just passed it around, and it's just some of the people commenting that don't have time to come to these meetings and don't have time to go to city councils or whatever. So I just brought just kind of their screenshots so you can enjoy that a little bit. Boy, that gets wild there. I did take out the ones that weren't nicely written, you know what I mean, with the cuss words and that kind of stuff. I wanted to also mention that since that is going on, we've also had the increase in property taxes. I haven't seen anything done on that to help people out with that at all. Also, are we going to work on some of these permit fees? I'm getting a lot of people calling me about those. The inspection fees that the people or the guys happen to come out 2 and 3 times to inspect something, and each time they're paying for it, so they're a little upset over that. As you know, Casper just lost 2 more businesses today, Hardee's. Both of those are gone, along with Applebee's, Golden Corral, Craves, Pump House, Plows, Western Grill, GMC, just to name a few. GMOS is up for sale. Now let's get on to my thoughts today. Germany's turning on their coal-fired plants at an alarming rate. China is building 100 of them a year while we're killing ours. Are we stupid or what? U.S. commissioners should be putting into place ways to encourage building refineries, helping our legislators to lobby to create more energy efficient means of recycling these wind towers and solar panels. One good hailstorm out there and bar none will destroy them, and they're not recyclable. I did all the checking with the company and all of their stuff. They're just basically junk. And another thing, most of that material comes from China when they're built. There's nothing being mined in Wyoming. You guys can really help with the legislators and help them design bills to get our real energy up and going, and not this boondoggle of the green and wind towers and all of that. I don't want to see rolling blackouts in this state. I don't want to see it anywhere, especially since we send, now I got this from the financial committee a few weeks ago when I was listening to them. We're exporting over 85% of our energy right now. And Rocky Mountain just asked for another $3. In January, they'll get another $16 on our electric bill. Isn't that weird? We're exporting 85% of our energy, but we're gouging our own people, even though we're creating the energy. So I'm asking you to step forward and work with maybe Alaman and Dan and some of the other guys and start figuring out a way that we can get permits easier for drilling. Biden's not going to be here forever. And when we land on our butt over this solar and wind energy, I don't want to be sitting in the dark burning my TV set. So anyway, I read your little rules up there, and I'll do my best as decorum, as you say. But I really do think you guys need to work on that 1 cent and tell them no. I know 3 of the 5 cities are saying no, because I stay in contact with all 3 mayors, and they don't want to get involved in this. They're just going, no, we're fine, and it's not their major budget, okay? Casper has become dependent on the 1 cent funds, and that's not right. They're supposed to be running on the money they collect, and by God, they collect quite a bit in taxes. So somebody needs to maybe crack open the books and find the waste. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Bill Alaman from Midwest. And what I'm here tonight, guys, been here before on the same issue. We need a swimming pool for our kids in Midwest. The school board will give us, if we can come up with $1 million, the school board will take care of the rest. The pool's in bad shape. It was closed a year ago in February. Those kids are 45, 50 miles from the closest pool. They can't get on their bikes to drive to town. And about 66% of the money this county collects comes from the Salt Creek oil field in around Midwest. And I just ask you folks to please, let's look at a pool for Midwest. It'll cost us $1 million here, and then the school board will pick up the rest. And that's all I had to say.
Bill, how much, so it's $1 million total for the pool, is that what you said?
Yes, the total cost of the pool is somewhere around $5 million. The school board said if we can come up with $1 million of that, they will fix the pool. And what it does, it takes a new tub. And then the roof of the building's in bad shape.
Chairman, how many kids are there in Midwest now that would be using the pool? How many?
There's around 160, and that's enrolled in the school, around 160.
Thank you.
Mr.
Commissioner Mill.
Thank you for attending, Mr. Elman. You said the school board would pick up the rest of it, the $4 million, then if county picked up $1 million?
Yes, if, what we were told, and this has been a year ago, we were told that if we could come up with $1 million somewhere, they didn't care where, they'd fix the pool.
Was this in a resolution or a motion made or anything like that, or were they just talking?
Pretty much talking.
Okay.
But we could make them put their money where their mouth was. And see if how much bull they do have in them. So,
Bill, do you know who it was as far as?
Mr. Cavalier.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Next one, 9460 West Zero Road.
It's not on. There you go.
Rosemary Saban, 9460 West Zero Road. You believe that this is such a big city and requires an overreaching government for its operation. It's not a big city, though you desire for it to be such, so you can push more things through the back door unnoticed. The optional 1 cent permanence through perpetuity you guys cooked up is plainly theft of the people's rights, our constitutional right and civic duty to vote, which you took an oath to uphold. You will make it the people's prerogative and priority in seeing to your removal in the next election with these corrupt plots you continue to dredge up from murky depths. To emphasize that this is not a big city, people talk in small towns. I wanted to know why our chairman abstained from the vote to fill positions on the Zoning and Planning Board, and through the realm of the real estate network, I was told that Dennis Baker is who you three want in a seat, and hence the attitude we all witnessed at the last meeting. For public knowledge and clarity, Dennis is the treasurer of the Casper Board of Realtors and works for Mr. Friel at Platinum Properties. I would not venture to insinuate Dennis is not a stand-up man, as I do not know him, but this can easily and strongly lend itself to creating conflicts of interest, if only in appearance alone. There is a seemingly increasing issue where Mr. Nicolason presents himself as believing that he singularly has the final word and says so. You've all been elected to represent the people and to work together as a team in achieving that. Mr. Nicolason and Friel, quite often, you give the appearance that you're unapproachable, condescending, and arrogant. Even when you made your public offer for me to call you anytime, Peter, please feel free to call me anytime. I'll tell you how it is.
What's your phone number?
That savors strongly of everyone being entitled to your opinion, but I and the rest of the people don't work for you, so our opinion should be of more importance to you. What is liberty? The Declaration of Independence identifies life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Our Constitution very profoundly protects life and liberty. Liberty is a person's own ability to do for themselves and provide for their own without the reliance of others. Liberty grants us free will and choice. God, our Creator, gives us freedom of choice, and it's a powerful gift. In society, it grants people the ability to work for themselves and attain what they desire inasmuch as they themselves can, and for those they choose to provide for. If so charitably, and by an individual's own desire of their own choosing and freedom to do so, that right is granted. It's not the place of our government, the whole of society, to demand it from the individuals themselves. To answer your question, 307-277-6859. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll go commissioner comments. Commissioner Laird.
I don't have any comments.
Commissioner North.
Well, unfortunately, with all the fuel that we have out there from the nice wet spring, we're now paying the price for it. There's been several fires north of Bar None, all over the county. There's been stuff out in Bates Creek. Today we did pass a fire ban. That was on the consent agenda. That was one of the things that was on there, so that is in place now. I just want to make sure that everybody's very, very careful, because with the conditions we've had with the hot temperatures and high winds, it doesn't take very much. And with these storms that have been rolling through, I watched that one come through the other day that created a lot of the fires out in Homa Hills and off Ormsby Road. And I knew there was going to be problems, and I was just really thankful that it was followed by a really heavy rainstorm right behind it, because that's the only thing that saved us on a lot of that stuff. But our guys have had to work really hard to make sure that everybody's safe out there, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows that and be careful.
Commissioner Milne. Commissioner Nicolason. Okay, and I don't have anything either, so we will stand in adjournment.